Time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace, former Ottawa Senator Jason York, and Graham Nichols.
Happy Monday, everybody. Brent Wallace alongside Graham Nichols and making his Coming In Hot debut, Callum Fraser from Post Media. Sir, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Callum, what's going on, man? First of all, congratulations. Got hired by Post Media. You're doing the NHL.com thing for a long time. Congratulations, man. That's a huge step for you.
Thank you, man. It's a dream come true. Like when I was talking about it a few weeks ago, I told everyone, like, I'm not gonna, step around this. It is my dream job. It is incredible to be full-time working in hockey. I grinded quite a bit, working a bunch of jobs for a decade, and now it's amazing. I have a big creative license right now that I have, and writing a lot of stories that I want to. And it's nice to be there on practice days too, right? Like it's a completely different vibe. Guys want to talk more, and it's really fun to be around the team.
Right, because you
get to have an opinion now, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone, a few media members have been pointing out, like, didn't hear you talk about the refs for a decade, but you talk about them every game on Twitter now. Like, yeah, it's freeing.
That's what I was going to say. Like, for those who don't know, you have been writing for NHL.com, and I think you've done some CP stuff, if not for Lisa. For 10 years?
Yeah, I started out with a bunch of different blogs. Was with Silver 7 SB Nation for a while, which was a great place. It was the first time I actually got creds, was with the blog during that 2016-17 run, and then quickly joined NHL in 2018, shortly after the Duchesne trade, and then they missed the playoffs for 7 years. So unfortunately, every time I get a new gig, might not look good for the next little while. I might be a bit of a curse here, but hopefully they can break it.
Yeah, I never thought of that. The Callum Fraser curse. Huh.
Dude, right. when they made the playoffs this last spring, like I was over the moon because I was making money in the spring for the first time in 7.5 years. So it was awesome to experience it again. Like the first year I ever covered this team, like I'd say, like, rather professionally, was 16-17. And man, when the Duchesne trade happened, they looked like the best team on paper in the league. And what followed was just, I never could have expected it. So
no, a lot of ink spilled over the last decade writing about the Ottawa Senators. That is for sure. As always, this show brought to you by Bet365. Lots going on around. I thought we were going to start today having to discuss 2 losses over the weekend. Thankfully, that's not the case. Also, Callum, I will say we had planned a different guest as a player. They can't make it. So I do appreciate you filling in. But we were going to actually have you on later in the week, just not today.
Well, apologies for the ratings plummet today.
I was so excited. And then Stephen Halliday was supposed to join us. And then obviously... I'm not going to tell you. He and I have discussed. We've chatted, but he just asked if he could postpone today. So I'm like, okay, we'll move on to a different day. Lots to discuss, however. Let's start. Should we start with Linus Ullmark being on the bench? That just quietly happened. Odd. It seemed odd to me. I will say that. Nice to see him on the bench, back on the roster.
But it's odd though. That seems like a natural. That seems like a really natural first step for a goaltender to come back. Like he's gone through the morning routines. He's been practicing. He's getting like backup reps in practice. Hunter Shepard's just kind of there as the third goalie, even though Hunter Shepard's getting into games and backing up. But like, it seems like it's a natural progression. No,
100%. It's a natural progression. However, if you're going to be the backup on a bench of the National Hockey League, you're going to have to be possibly playing. And so if he's possibly ready to play, maybe he should be in the net. That was my argument. But my argument was they just added him in the middle of the afternoon and said, okay, you're going to back up today. That was my only thing.
But like, Cal, how do you feel? Like, because they got smoked. Like they just looked off on Saturday and you're coming in, would you throw him to the Wolves against a very good Vegas team? I think like that's the risk that you run, like Ullmark in his interview with Claire last week, like talked about those anxieties and everything else about the CCC. I don't know if you throw him in against that level of competition so fast. Cal, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it made sense to me for him to be backing up last night, just because I think that, Reimer needs a break, sure. And you wanted to give Søgaard a chance, but after seeing what happened against Colorado a few weeks ago, like, this team cannot really afford to just leave a goaltender in if he lets in the first couple of shots of the game, right? I feel like it was the plan potentially to have Ullmark in if it went south really quickly. And it was nice. Like, I think it was after a TV timeout, they showed him on the big screen for 20 or 30 seconds, and the crowd really was a nice warm welcome. I don't think he noticed until like the last second. But you know what, like, looking forward to, I think it's feels more than likely that he's starting Wednesday.
Maybe.
But after Søgaard's performance yesterday, don't you have to turn back to the kid?
No,
I don't think so.
You don't have to.
No,
you're playing a Colorado team that is the best team in the league. You have a chance to either have your starter, and I understand he's been off. However, it is either Linus Ullmark or Mad Søgaard. You go into the office, Justin Peters goes in and goes, Travis, hey, Mad Søgaard. I know everybody's ready, but Mad Søgaard's the guy. What do you think Travis Green's going to say? I think nobody's really been the guy for extended stretches during the season anyway. So, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you want to afford guys the opportunity. Did Mad Søgaard stand on his head last night? He was just good.
19 or 20, right? Like 19 saves on 20 shots.
But do you think Vegas was really that much of a threat last night?
No, they didn't look. That wasn't their best effort at all. But at the same time, again, like Colorado, like another very dominant team, right? Very few regulation losses this season. Mm-hmm. And if that's Linus's first game, like if he gets shelled in the first period, I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if he just comes in.
At some point, you just got to play.
Exactly. But I think you shelter him a little bit, like just from a confidence perspective. I don't know.
Well, this is the National Hockey League. If you're going to shelter him, maybe a conditioning stint.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
With 30 games left, though, it's like I don't think there's time to shelter anyone.
100%.
And Wednesday, like I think if they lose Wednesday, I don't know, man. Like, it might be curtains, but if they can get a point, that's a massive, massive game for them, and it would feel like they have a ton of momentum, especially with only 4 games left. You play a couple of good playoff teams, and hopefully make good on another game with Carolina. I don't know. I just so they have 1 game until Saturday. So Linus is going to sit for another 5 games. Like, I think he's probably leaning towards starting Wednesday. And you got to think that Søgaard, he got a lot of confidence last night. I think he looked the largest and the biggest that I've seen him in the NHL. Like, he was at the top of his crease all night long. He was great on the Marner breakaway, and he had a left pad save on Hurdle at the end of the first period. But I think like the best stop he made was actually midway through the second period when he was like deep in his crease. Hurdle got it at the top of the slot and started skating downhill, and he just jumped to the front of his crease and gave them no room to shoot. I think he looked really, really good last night, super confident. But I mean, he played 12 minutes against Colorado a few weeks ago and just got absolutely killed out there.
Yeah, but he didn't get any help.
But I guess the issue for me is, like, I know like Ullmark's the de facto number 1 guy based off salary, what he's done in his career and everything else. But like, he hasn't been strong at all this season. Like
I agree.
He's rocking it. Like, so I don't know if there is a pressure to necessarily get him in right away.
I think. Would you not go with James Reimer? This sounds so.
Well, that was the other
odd conversation.
Too.
You have Linus Ullmark and James Reimer, and you're like, yeah, I think Reimer's the right call.
Could I also interest you in a Levi Marilainen after a 40-save shutout on the weekend?
I know it's so. I've never seen a team. I have no way to track this stat. I'm sure NHL can have dressed 4 different goalies in back-to-back games. Like, that's wild to me. I say you go James Reimer and then Linus Ullmark Saturday versus New Jersey.
Against Markstrom? Yeah, I don't mind that.
Well, I guess it's Markstrom, but it's more Jack Hughes and a team that's struggling more than the Colorado Avalanche. By the way, Colorado just won last night against Toronto 4-1 in Toronto. They have the same 2 days off as Ottawa does before they face each other here Wednesday, which is rare on the road to have 2 days off. They didn't need the rest. Is all I'm trying to get at.
No, they did not.
We could have done without the 2 days off.
How much momentum, Cal, do you think they can get off yesterday's win? Like, how pivotal was that for that group right now?
I think they needed it. I don't know how much momentum it is right now, but I think they direly needed it. I think Wednesday is just like, if you can win that game or get a point, then it just feels like everything is, coming together at the right moment. It's, they've been saying so many times over the past couple months that they've been playing really well, but once you get those results, it really starts to snowball in the right direction. And, I watched a little bit of the Colorado and Toronto game yesterday. Toronto did not look great, but I mean, the Avs, if you can beat a team that is the best offensive team and the best defensive team, like regards to goals for and goals against, then like, that's why I think Linus, listen, like, if they lose on Wednesday, it kind of it doesn't really matter, like with regards to confidence, because the season's just kind of hanging by a thread at that point. But if you win, it's even more of a boost, right? Like, not just for the team, but for him. I just think that waiting another 6 or 5 or 6 days for him to start, and it's all up to him, to be totally fair, right? Like,
that's what I was that was my next point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he clearly was like, mentally ready to play last night, because it was definitely a possibility, but it's all up to him right now. And if he feels good to go, like, I would absolutely throw him in the net to start on Wednesday.
A lot of pressure. I was looking at the standings. Jake had the standings up. Ottawa's got 30 games left.
Yeah.
They're talking about that 97, 95 point threshold might be the magic number to get into the postseason this year based off what's happening. It might even be closer to 97 because like the Islanders have 59 points, so Ottawa can't surpass the Islanders because they play in the Metro, right?
Points.
But you're looking at winning, essentially. You need 40 points in your last 30 games. And, you've essentially got to win 20 of your last 30 games. It's going to be tough.
They haven't shown that over 50 games or 52 games that they can put together that kind of run.
So what you're saying is they're due.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it.
They've been feeling due for a while. If you look at the playoff odds this morning, they jumped up again. It's wild. They were around like 10 or 9% with a couple of like the fancy stats sites, and this morning I looked and they're like 20 on a couple, and they're like 14 point percentage lead on where the Toronto Maple Leafs playoff odds are right now. And obviously, like, the goals expected has so much to do with that. But there's a lot of belief that this is the kind of the team that if anyone's going to go on a run right now out of nowhere, then the underlying numbers say that they probably should at some point.
But one extended run opens that door. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, can you expect a Buffalo run where you win 10 plus in a row, get points in like 11 games? Like, it's going to take that kind of extended run to open the door a little bit, but there is no margin for error right now. Like, that's the hard part. Like, they have to string something together. And like you talked about Wednesday's game being super important. It's followed up by New Jersey, Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Philly heading into the Olympic break. Like, Carolina's a very good team. Pittsburgh's in the mix. Philly's sort of around the mix as well. But those are winnable games. And New Jersey's kind of reeling a little bit as well. Like, if you capture some momentum, get some points on Wednesday, and you go on a run heading into the Olympic break, it's going to give these guys so much more confidence. So much more confidence.
Yeah. I think also, like, and this is the same for pretty much every team right now. Let's not say that, the Sens are battered and bruised and no one else is playing through injuries, because that's just not true. But it just seems like there's a few guys right now that their legs just quite aren't there. And I think 2.5 weeks is going to do wonders for them. You could potentially get David Perron back, looking healthy in a month and a half time. So if you get out of this and hit the Olympic break with 4 out of the 5, final games here, really the tune changes dramatically when they get back around February 24th, 25th. And it feels like they can start like skating downhill and really, really getting some momentum. But I mean, man, like, Colorado's massive, but Carolina is staring you right in the face next week, I think.
Yeah.
In Carolina too.
We know how things go in Carolina.
Yeah.
Like they have won 4 in a row once this year.
Yeah.
Just making sure I have the right. Yeah. It's not an easy challenge for this group to be putting up. And Philly, Pittsburgh are both on the road. It's not an easy stretch. We'll see how it plays out. That you talked about guys not finding their legs like that. I know we have harped on the penalty kill all year, which is fair. And we haven't really discussed Mike Yeo taking over, and they've killed off 5 of the last 6 in the last 2 games. Their power play is atrocious at the moment. Like I think they're 8 for the last 52. One time it was arguably what helped them propel them into the top of the goals for category. They are struggling, and they've got to figure this out.
For the last 11 in the last 4 games, 19 shots. So they're averaging like a little more, just under 2 shots per power play. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for the talent that they have on the team. And it's so weird watching the zone entries lately. Like it seems like it's just like this formula where it's like Jake Sanderson skates through the neutral zone with possession, stops in between the red line and blue line, drops it. And like for Jake Sanderson, who's carrying the puck with speed, most often the team is conceding the blue line and he's just deferring back, and it takes another 5, 6, 7 seconds off the power play. And they're willing to kill 7 seconds just to like create another fresh entry just by passing it back once. It's just, I would like to see them just be a little bit more aggressive, just go in, take the line if you can get it, and then save yourself 7 seconds without a clean entry. Like don't worry about the second effort to get into the zone. Just go give it to Sandy, let him go. Let him do his thing.
What do you think about how they're playing in the O-zone once they get possession though right now? Because it seems to me like when this team is, they look dynamic at points on the power play when they can get the puck down low and really use Tkachuk down there and then open up the bumper spot. And it starts like, I think Jake Sanderson's been all right quarterbacking right now, but it seems like they have a lot of perimeter, like umbrella type play at the top, and they're really having a hard time finding seam passes to get down low or get to the bumper right now. And I feel like it might not be the worst thing to just start wiring shots from the points and just having guys converge in on the middle and getting some dirty goals. Because some nights it seems like they're looking for the perfect play. And I think it worked pretty well for the first half of the season. And the power play looked, I thought it looked great. And like Timmy and Jacob at the top, kind of moving back and forth and finding different lanes and whatnot. But right now it feels like you kind of just got to get back to basics and just, converge down low, get the puck down to Brady and just like jam away to find some goals right now.
It feels like they chase quality. Like they're happy to chase quality all the time, like setting up the bumper position. And if you look at the heat map, if you look at Ottawa's power play heat map off of like HockeyViz, for example, everything is just red right down the middle. It's tons of point shots where Sandy is at the top of the umbrella. And they're just working. It just seems like they're waiting for that one opportunity on the bumper. And that's what they're playing for every power play. They're just trying to work it around the perimeter, open up seams, lanes, get to the bumper and shoot. And that's what they're trying to do.
Could they use a one-time shot on the half wall too, you think? Because right now,
like Cousins.
No, I don't mean it because of. I just mean Josh Norris made a living of just that one. He's phenomenal at scoring on the power play there. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, like Cousins, I think Cousins has been that guy on the left side for a little bit, but it's just.
But we scored quite a few goals from the bumper position this year too, with like some good wrist shots and some quick shots in the middle. But I think Tim's one-timer on the right side was progressing, and now it seems like they don't really use it that much. And I don't really know if they have a great option on the left side right now. Sandy's got a great one-timer if there's a lane open right down the middle. Shabbat does too, but it just feels like they're not setting up that one-timer right now.
100%.
And Claude doesn't shoot enough when the second unit's out. Like that's the gripe, and he can rip it. It's just he's comfortable passing. That's his thing. That's his bag.
By the way, the power play since December 29th is 28th in the league. 8 for 52, 15%. Also, we always talk about defensively, they're not getting saves. Since December 29th, they have scored 50 goals in 17 games, which is 333 average. However, 30% of those 50 goals came in 2 games when they scored 8 goals and 7 goals. So outside of that, they're 2.3 goals per game. They need to find a way to generate some more offense in this league. That's all.
What do you guys make of like Brady Tkachuk's shooting this year? Like, you know, he's dealing.
Are
he's
you
dealing
just
with
trying to rage bait us at this point?
No.
What do you guys? You think? Forget
But
the
like,
fact he's had thumb surgery.
No, for sure. But I mean, like, there's context. Like, we've talked on the show a little bit about his thumb. Like last year, it seemed like he's the kind of guy who puts in so much work pre-practice, working on his shot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him do it anywhere near as often this year.
Right.
Obviously,
the Ranger game was
obviously for like
going to be the turnaround.
Yeah. And I had a chance to talk to him after his scrum the other day about it. But like, he claims his thumb is fine, feels it's not hampering his game whatsoever. And I mean, like, that's what he's going to say publicly. But
yeah.
He's just not shooting from distance with the same confidence. But like, he had, like Wally mentioned, like, he had that nice shot against Jonathan Quick in the first period of the Rangers game. But like, aside from that one example, he just looks like someone who's not comfortable ripping it right now.
I wonder how much having it wrapped up is affecting him. You know, like it's not like he's just got, you know, one little bandage on it right now. It is, you know, solidly wrapped up. So I wonder, like, if that's doing anything for, you know, lack of mobility or anything. But you know what? I think that, you know, in the meantime, I think his playmaking has actually gotten far better. And I think he's had to rely on that a lot better. That last night, that's one of the best secondary assists I've seen all season. Just ripped a puck across the slot to Greig. And he's been doing it a lot this season. I think that, honestly, like, the first period, he won a couple of puck battles down low and got it back to a forward coming in at the top of the slot. Yeah. I think he's still shooting quite a bit, but I think he's looking to pass more often now.
We shall see. We need to take care of some business. Graeme.
Today's show is brought to you by Shoeless Joe's. Daily deals you do not want to miss. Burgers, wings, cold beer, great prices. No fluff, just big flavor. 5 nights a week. This week at Shoeless, you have your Wings Tuesday. Crispy, saucy, and only $10. Oh, I forgot to mention Monday. Monday is fish and chips. You've also got Big Burger
Maritime Monday. I'm going to make this a thing.
It's not in the script though, Wally. So I always sometimes I go past it. So it's all good. Big Burger Energy Wednesdays, massive burger starting at $10. Enough said. Thursday night, you have half price wine and $10 flatbread. Perfect for date night or for catching up. You also have Caesar Sundays. Shake up your Sunday with a $6 Caesars. And if the Senators are on TV or any other Canadian team is on the screen, $9 buds all game long with a game day bud deal. Shoeless Joe's, where daily deals meet big flavor and good times on repeat in Campville and Orleans.
I know it doesn't look out there today, but golf is having a bit of a moment right now, not just in the traditional sense. What used to feel buttoned up, as Yorkie likes to say, has turned into something way more cultural. You're seeing athletes from all kinds of pro sports, hockey, basketball, football, even surfers, embracing golf in a new way to compete, connect, and just enjoy the game. The shift is exactly where Hurley and Levelware Collaborations comes in. Hurley brings back the laid-back sports board energy inspired by Hawaiian and coastal vibes and the Thai Wally experience. Relaxed, expressive, and rooted in lifestyle. Give them a shout. You can see the whole collection at levelware.com. It's called the Fairwaves Collection. And, of course, by Beyond the Pale. Good day for a beer today, by the way. Locally owned, one of Ottawa's go-to craft breweries, Beyond the Pale, is serving up some of the city's favorite beers with seasonal releases always on tap. They got 2 great locations, the City Center Brewery and Tap Room, 250 City Center. Great food, lots of parking, open view into the brew house, and fantastic atmosphere. And their new Byward Market Tap Room location, historic 21 George Street, where history, community, craft beer all come together. And lots of things get solved around a table of beer. 2 great spots. Grab a pint or catch the next big Ottawa game. Find them at btpshop.ca, btpshop.ca. Okay, by the way, gentlemen, we did mention Stephen Halday off the top. I was excited to get a chance to talk to him because he's been playing some fantastic hockey of late. Tough to see him take the hit last night. I don't know his status for Wednesday if he's available, but has he made the argument that it's his spot to lose? I know, before you answer, I know he's up here on an injury replacement. He did the same for when Lars Eller was out. But he's shown that when he's on the ice, he makes things happen. He averages 8.5 minutes a game. He's still got 10 points through 21 games.
You want to start, Cal?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good place after I wrote a piece on him this week, and I think the first line was like the American Hockey League can only contain him for so long. I think he's in his third stint in the NHL. He's just oozing confidence right now, and not just offensively, like with the puck. I think he has the confidence right now to actually be using his frame that 6'4" frame and going into the dirty areas and winning puck battles. He wins a puck battle right before that Zetterlund goal last night. And actually, I believe on the Cousins goal, the first Cousins goal, he had some good board play to keep the play going in the O zone. And, a minute later, they end up scoring there. So I think that right now, it's crazy to me. He's got, I have it right here, 9 minutes, 11 minutes and 52 seconds, 7 minutes and 39 seconds. That's his last 3 games. And he's got 4 points. And he looks like one of the better offensive options right now on the team. I'd like to see him get like an extended look up in the top 6. But I will say, like, the argument to keep him down there is that it's working pretty well right now.
That line's really good. Like, and even when they had, I think Perron at one point was on that wing. Like, Halliday makes that line better, 100%.
Yeah, and I think the other two have done a really good job at teaching him more details of the game. I talked to him when he was in Ottawa with Belleville over the last weekend, or the previous weekend, and he talked at length about how Nick Cousins and him are always trying to make little adjustments on the bench mid-game. And he's learned a lot from the board play, watching DP, and how Perron like never loses a puck battle on the boards. And actually, it was funny, in the first game that he played in this third stint against Nashville, I think it was after his goal, a couple of shifts later, they showed him on the bench talking with Nick Cousins, looking at an iPad, and then they bring Travis Green over, and Greener's giving them some opinions, and it's just good to see. A lot of the times I think young guys in the league, and he's not totally young, he's 23 years old, and it's time for him to play in the NHL, but he's still a rookie in this league. And I think a lot of the times rookies have a hard time kind of not necessarily like speaking up and whatnot, but asking for help and being, he's got his ear open, obviously, for whatever Travis Green has to say, but it's good that I think it feels like everyone is comfortable having really strong lines of communication, and it seems to be helping him because his game looks really, really complete right now. And I liked what he gave in the first 18 games before he was called up for a third time, but he was just missing some of that kind of physicality. He's throwing the body around a lot more, and he is in the right spots when he doesn't have the puck and when they're forechecking and when they're looking to create a cycle down low. So it looks really, really good right now, and hopefully he's okay.
And we talk about like opportunities, right? Like David Perron was providing some decent secondary scoring for this team, playing like, up and down the lineup, predominantly on the fourth line of late. And they were having success when he was there. But like his absence affords a guy like Halliday to come in. Perron's not a long-term piece. Like likely he's either gone at the deadline or he's not going to be brought back next season. So this is probably a swan song here in Ottawa. So affording this kid the opportunity now to get into the lineup, gain some experience, gain some confidence, and not only gain confidence, but he's productive. Like relative to the ice time that he gets, he's been incredibly, incredibly productive. And Jake had the lines up earlier, and like Nick Cousins was on the third line. I think like for looking at Ottawa's forward lines, the one line that hasn't been contributing offensively of late is the line that we've like lauded all season long with like Pinto and Amadio.
But they don't have to score. I just want them to shut the other team. Give me Stephen Halliday in Claude Giroux's spot.
And that's where I was just about to go with it. Like when you start getting the confidence offensively, you start bringing and incorporating some of the defensive aptitude that Cal was talking about earlier. If you can bring some of that into the mix, maybe that's a place where you can plug Halliday and give him a little bit of opportunity and play more minutes. Give him Cousins a spot.
What? No, I don't want him on the third line. You just said you were going with the Giroux spot. That's the top line.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying like historically on the third line. So that's what I thought you were referencing.
No,
because like Giroux, Pinto, and Amadio have been the third line for the majority of the season when they've all been healthy.
But
that's like if you want Giroux up the lineup, I'm putting Halliday in on the third line to help spark Pinto and Amadio, because like those guys have been good but not great lately.
But if Shane Pinto could score on a breakaway, they'd be much further ahead. It's like he's like, Chris Kelly.
How many times do we say that about like Eric Condra?
Tough comparison.
But I don't like you give me Giroux, Amadio, Pinto all day. I think Stephen Halliday at the moment is confident enough that he can play a top 6 spot, and they have been looking for a top 6 winger. Right? We've talked. I don't know if he's the answer. I don't know if he's the guy that we think can fill the net. But that size, I think he's got hockey IQ. that's higher than most. I think he can maybe play in that spot. I would like to see it.
For sure. And I think like that's the threat. Like we've been talking about Fabian Zetterlund's production or lack thereof for the better part of the majority of the first half of the season. And then he started to produce. But like his play and what he contributes when he's not scoring, I don't think will be at the same level of Stephen Halliday when Stephen Halliday is at his best. I think like if there's a direct threat to Fabian Zetterlund's ice time and opportunity at the top of this lineup, it's going to be the performance of Stephen Halliday.
I'm okay. He's already got second power play spot. Like you can see that he has the offensive upside. I'm like, and maybe Stützle, Batherson, Halliday's not the greatest defensive line ever assembled, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. I really like the Greig line right now with Cousins and Tkachuk. That just seems to create offense on a regular basis. But give me something else with. I think Tim Stützle needs a winger. He just needs somebody. He's trying to do all of it himself.
That second line to me is, I think that so many lines in this league are built really well when there's a bunch of different styles of play, but that second line, it's like they're all hard-nosed. Like Cousins is leading the team. Dylan Cousins is leading the team right now in hits, 141. The second guy has 101, and it's actually his the poorer Cuzzy. And I just think like once you had Ridley Greig on that line, something about that forecheck really opened it. Really, I think opened it up for all three of them. Actually, it feels like Greig has a lot more poise and patience and time and space with the puck. It seems like all three of them actually, like when they get the puck, they're just allotted a lot more time and space. And I think like Cousins right now is just ripping it. Like his wrist shot is incredible. If they can get it to him, skating downhill at the top of the slot or just with a little bit of time and space, it's just going top right every single time.
And how understated is Ridley Greig's passing ability right now?
Oh my God. Amazing. I mean, I think he's up there with like the most primary assists at even strength in the league in the past 8 or 9 games. Like ever since that New York Rangers game, he's had like, I do grades after every game for the Citizen and Sun, and I think I've given him a non-A once in the past 3 weeks. It's like every facet of his game is not only, going at all cylinders right now, but it's improved. Like his skating is like he's moving the fastest I've ever seen him move before. He has so much patience with the puck, and it's weird because in seasons past and even earlier this season, he'd get the odd like week or two up with Timmy or up on the second line with Cousins and Batherson. Like he's been up there a few times, but when he's with these guys that like Drake and like Tim that are really, really creative with the puck and are just so dynamic in the O zone and especially like through the neutral zone. They're always weaving back and forth and doing overlap and like crossover plays and drop passes and stuff on odd man rushes. And I think that the second line, and I don't want this to sound like critical at all, but they are simple. They are all straight line players right now, and it is working. It's like a charm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's predictable, right? It's give and go play, and then
absolutely
that's where they're thriving. But like, I'd have to look at the numbers. I think like since Shane Pinto got hurt on like December 5th, I think like Ridley Greig leads the team in even strength points. I'd have to double check after this weekend, but like,
I know he's fourth on the year. I'll give you give me 30 seconds and I'll dig it up for you. You said December 5th. Did you say December 5th?
We haven't talked about it. I think it's December 5th is when Pinto.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Pinto got hurt. Pinto got hurt in that December 4th game. So I think since December 5th, at least 5-on-5. It was from natural stat trick when I was looking before, but
even strength points since December 5th. Graham, you couldn't be more wrong. Tim Stützle has 18 even strength points. So Ridley Greig is tied for second with Brady Tkachuk at 16.
But I bet you some of those are like empty netters and everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now you're just trying to take stuff away from him.
No, 5-on-5 is totally different. 5-on-5 play is totally different.
Nichols, he said you couldn't be more wrong, and I feel like you could have been way more wrong.
Claude Giroux's fourth at 15 points. Jake Sanderson's fifth at 14 even strength points. Ridley Greig tied for third in goals at 6. Brady. Brady is leading the team in since that time 8 even strength goals.
How are they doing on points though, Wally? How are they doing on points?
I gave you points. Stützle 18, Greig 16, Tkachuk 16.
Okay, I'm pulling up 5-on-5 stuff here from Natural Stats.
I will not stand for
I can't
this.
lose that. I'm not going to stand for that. Really, Greg.
Yeah.
Natural stat trick, 5-on-5 points. He's got 15. He leads the team. So there you go. There you go.
Not even strength.
Couldn't let it slide.
All right, hang on. What's next, Jake? We got to take care of BE. Can you do BEI or you want? Oh, I'll do it. The show brought to you by BEI, Bonisher Excavating Inc. If you're a homeowner thinking about a new driveway, fresh gravel, or getting your property ready for a spring project, I know it sucks today, but it's going to be eventually spring. They supply quality aggregate landscape materials at competitive prices. They got the equipment and experience to handle everything from small residential jobs to full driveway work. To get your quote or learn more, visit bonisherexcavating.com or call them 613-432-1120. BEI, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And of course, Graham, as always,
slow down in construction zones.
And of course, as always, our show proudly presented to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Download the app and get on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League, I believe. As we said, Colorado has the day off. Ottawa, the day off as well. The Boston Bruin Ranger game would be interesting. And of course, the Islanders Flyers game. I just don't want the 3-point games. Can we just?
Yeah,
anyway, I'm not getting into it again. I hate the 3-point games. So we'll see how this
some big
plays
ones.
out.
Of course, you know what's going to happen now, Wally.
Yeah, 3-point games.
Somehow
You get a
4-point games.
And you get a point. Yes. Everybody gets a point. Anyway, that's.
So do you think like we're talking about like the Metro with the Islanders and the Flyers and stuff? Like, do you think like the Islanders finish or whoever finishes third in the Metro winds up having fewer points than some teams that are outside the Metro?
Yeah.
If they get into the postseason that way, does that open the conversation changing the playoff structure?
No, because it's happened before. I just want them to go 1-8. Just want I don't need this.
The artificial pumping up of rivalries.
The stupid rivalry thing is just nonsensical to me. So you're going to tell me you're in the playoffs and you're not going to care because Detroit's playing Philadelphia in round 1. Like, come on now. Let's stop the nonsense. I don't care who it is.
Did people out west get kind of tired of Edmonton, LA, or were those series? Because it was like, what, 4 back-to-back-to-back?
4 straight years that Edmonton has beaten LA, correct? Or is it the other way around? Yeah, no, Edmonton's beaten LA, obviously. Yeah. Like, that's wild. And same with like Ottawa facing, and I know it's Toronto, but you make those rivalries happen. Ottawa Buffalo was a great rivalry because of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who they play. I don't care if it's Tampa. I don't care. I just want 1-8. I think you deserve if you finish first. Like, and I know you still get the wild cards, but I just think the seeding matters, and it doesn't in this little division thing.
So I feel like with how Tampa and Florida, that rivalry has come along, like I think the NHL, if they have a little bit more chance to have a series every year like that, they're going to keep it.
Okay, but give it to me in round 2, round 3. Like you're still going to get those series.
That's the hard part.
Would you not rather have
I agree.
an Eastern Conference final, Tampa, Florida? I think that'd be outstanding.
Be incredible. Would be incredible.
But this artificially inflates that every once in a while. I think
it's like the oversaturation when you see them like every first round, right? I think that's where you fall into those troubles.
I don't care. Why do you care?
No, I know.
It's still first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, when you face the same team like several times in a row, it's just like, okay, it's old hat. But
I think the problem to me is not the first 2 rounds. It's like, it's what it creates in the end. It feels like the Eastern Conference final has kind of been a bore the past few years because like whoever makes it there, like Carolina they're just not the same kind of, rough and tumble, dirty team that you can find, in spades in the Atlantic Division right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Question for you guys. We were having some conversations over beverages after the Carolina game on Saturday night. After that emotional loss, and you're like, okay, like the wheels might finally be off this thing. Like that might be it for this team. We have no idea what they're going to do.
And they sucked you right back in.
That's a day-to-day life. But, we were talking about the standings, and like if Ottawa winds up with a top 10 pick, they would go into the lottery system. Do you think like Wally's just going to be like, no, not interested in having this discussion? But he probably knows where I'm going.
I will.
So
you know what? I will entertain you.
If the Senators wind up with a lottery pick, we all know how much Michael Andlauer would love to have that pick back. Do you think if the Senators have that top 10 pick, and that's inevitably going to draw like league-wide attention, do you think that makes it easier potentially for this team to get that pick back? Or like if they're in the postseason, they're just like, you're in the postseason, who cares? But if it is a top 10 lottery pick, I'd imagine it's going to get a little bit more contentious from Ottawa's side. They're going to want that pick back.
Go ahead.
I feel like if they're going to get their pick back, it's going to have to happen before the season ends. I don't think the NHL is going to make a decision once all of those teams, because, okay, so what happens? So does the 10th team, if Ottawa gets their pick back, does that 11th team not get into the draft lottery?
Yeah. Yeah.
So as of right now, the rule is, excuse me, they will, if Ottawa's a lottery team, it will go into the lottery. If their ball is drawn, they redo the lottery. But they're not.
Man,
you guys think it's wild. Like it is wild. But you think that the NHL at this point is going to go, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We reconsidered. I will use a famous quote.
Time.
I'm going to go 95% that this pick is not changed. It is not reversed.
They've had so much time to do it already. And like surely
they keep kicking the problem down the road though, Cal, at the same time. Like they could have easily swapped that pick.
I don't think that how
they could have given up the pick and then said, okay, we'll take our 2026 pick. Like they kick the problem down the road. In that sense.
You mean the Senators have? Well, yeah. But but surely with regards to like any sort of judicial inquiry here, the Senators have made the best argument they have many, many times over. So like the only difference is going to be the NHL potentially feeling bad for an organization that's had a lot of bad luck over the last little while. And if they felt bad, they would never have done this.
Like it's not about feeling bad.
No, but like their original decision was like, this is going to, Ottawa's not implicated. They've been cleared of wrongdoing. That was the initial decision. And then it eventually culminated with another sit-down meeting between like Anaheim's representatives, Vegas's representatives, and Ottawa's one representative.
Again, don't you think that argument has been made a bunch of times?
Well, I just think like, I honestly think there's culpability on the part of the league. And I've talked about this several times on different shows. But like for the NHL, after the events of what happened after the Dadnuff scandal, to roll out a league-wide app on Apple for the general managers and front offices across the league to have access to all the contract information, salary information, trade clauses, all that stuff is now a centralized hub. That was a giant blind spot for the league. They rolled that out immediately in the event of this. To me, that's an admission of culpability to some extent. And then you look at what they hid from the organization as Andlauer was trying to buy in the team. If I'm Andlauer, I'm fuming. Absolutely fuming.
I believe Mike Greer is on Android, so that would cause some issues with you. I'm not saying they all have to use it. And you talk to like the people in the Senators front office. I don't believe they're using it. They have their own proprietary in-house thing. But like, it's a league-wide access tool where they didn't have that before, and it was a blind spot for the league. We saw that, and it got exploited.
But is this about culpability? Like I agree with a lot of the points that you're making there, but they've made their decision. I just don't see Bettman reversing it, and I just don't get what argument at this point is going to change their mind.
It's not, and maybe had Dodonov, I believe is how we would pronounce his name now, had he not been traded and in 2 days had the trade nixed, this may be different. But I believe that played in a huge part. And we haven't, unless you guys have read it. Have you read all 73 pages of the findings? No. And
I'm on page 29.
That's why, like, I don't believe this is being reversed whatsoever. So, we can talk about it, but I don't believe there's any chance. Now, there is one argument. I keep hearing this argument about, oh, they should have taken this pick and they should have just booted last year's and taken this year's. The argument is, because hindsight's 2020, they should have been a better team this year. They should have been higher in the standings. That pick would be not as good. That was the argument, that the last year's pick would help them, whatever, and it was a lower pick. They expected this to be a better year. The pick would have been lower in the draft. That's why. But that's not the case.
And they got what they wanted too. That draft had a lot of great defensemen. They picked, a player that they need to in Logan Hensler to insert in the exact part of the lineup that they need. And yeah, absolutely.
And he's 1 year closer in development, right? Like that's the other half of it. You get him into the system 1 year earlier, he might be 1 year closer to playing than whoever would have been available in 2026. So like there's a ton of logical, rational explanations for why they decided to do it. But it's amazing what the league's worst save percentage will do to a team. And
right? It creates absolute chaos.
Oh, it's brutal. And like Travis, Callum, you're there every post game availability from Travis, and he's like, I thought we played well. And in many instances, he's correct. Like the team hasn't played poorly at 5-on-5. Like they're doing a lot of things right. It's just, hey, we didn't get the saves tonight, but he's not one to publicly slag his players in public, nor should he. Availability. So,
I mean, what's he going to go? Our PK is awful, and we need to bench. Like, what's he going to say?
We need a save. That's it. And
he did say it. He finally, like the Montreal game, finally they broke down and admitted they just needed a save.
It took a lot.
49 games.
It took so much, man.
But here's the argument, guys. We always say, like, we can't have a knee-jerk reaction to whatever happens in life or whatever. And if they were to have this knee-jerk reaction and start changing all this stuff, then be like, what? They don't have any patience. They can't get stuff done. And now look where we're at. I don't know what the argument, like, I don't know where they should be, but a lot of times you're like, you got to be patient and work through it. And unfortunately, it got to 50 games.
They talk about the need for a save. Saves are starting to come a little bit more. They talk about changing the penalty kill. They talk about changing the penalty kill. Look at the penalty kill under Mike Yeo now. Yeah,
I know, but that's because desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, and that's like, it's like I tweeted this during the Carolina game, but I thought it was like kind of like sadly ironic that Carolina's got a guy, one of the top statistical goaltenders in the league, who they picked up at the beginning of the season off waivers, and there's Ottawa at the other end of the ice who. That's all they needed was just a couple saves. And then there was a guy that was available for anyone to get early in the season. And it was tragic.
You never know. You just never know.
I think Wally, just the big question for me with regards to the goaltending and how Staios handled it. And I guess how the coaching staff also handled it with who to play is I don't think it's about Staios's like late reaction getting Reimer. I think it's whether or not you believed that this team had 4 good professional goalies in its system that were ready to play NHL games in Ullmark, Marilyn, and Søgaard, and Shepard. Was that good enough at the start of the season? And I don't know. I think I'm like somewhere in the middle. But to me, I mean, how many goalies were available when Ullmark took his leave of absence, right? Like, it was slim pickings. And the trade market was not good.
Right.
Who they allegedly kicked tires on, right? Like they said they expressed interest and a deal's made that day. Yeah.
I totally I don't know what the answer is. Sometimes you got to be patient and see. Sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make, all that stuff. But it just,
there is like, I think there is like
revisionist.
There is a bit of revisionist history in the sense, but at the same time, like the argument for bringing in a more veteran option is totally rational as well. Like Linus Ullmark had not played in more than 50 games in a regular season ever. Levi Marilyn had 20 games of NHL experience, really small sample sizes of success last year. They wanted to afford him the opportunity to lay claim to the backup goaltender job. And that's the path that they took. But at the same time, if something happens to Linus, like it has pretty much in every season, if Levy's ineffective, what is plan C? And it was Matt Søgaard, and he's had a really difficult season to this point. Yeah. And he spoke about that in his available. Yeah, he's had a really difficult time playing consistently and playing effectively. So, and I don't think the answer was ever Hunter Shepard. I think that's the problem. It's like I think they needed a more credible veteran option who could have been in the minors and given them some games, and they just never had that. So, they stuck with the two guys here, and it was ineffective.
Should they have kept Anton Forsberg?
I'd have to look at what he signed for. But
something? I feel like he was a $3 million, but maybe it's more.
I just feel like they didn't have the money to pay him what he was probably looking for. But surely to God, there was like a tweener, AHL veteran, NHL backup who could have been had. Who probably could have looked at Ottawa's situation and said, "Hey, you know what? If things break right, I could play a lot of NHL games this year." But
2.75. Quickly, I got one last thing that I got to ask you. I have a couple of questions for Cal. So they make the change at the penalty kill coach in Mike Yeo, but here's my... Would they not have had any meetings beforehand? Like, did they need to announce that there's a different guy running the PK? Like, did they just not go into like every day into the... Guys, I think we should try this. No, Mike. No. Stay in your lane.
That is the weird thing, though, because they say it's like everything is collaborative within that room. Like, everyone's working hard doing stuff. It's like, you know, if like I don't think there's like some secret sauce that Mike Yeo has that like Nolan Baumgartner had, and Mike Yeo was holding that information to himself to say, "Hey, when I get this role and he fails, I'm gonna look great." Like, no, like I don't know, Cal. Like, have you seen anything different other than like maybe like a little bit more assertiveness and aggression out of their PK guys? Like, have you noticed 100%. Anything that's different?
Well, so on the announcement, like I think that was. I interpreted it as Travis trying to take the heat off Baumgartner.
Yes. 100%.
Which I think is fair. That's his guy, right?
And Mike Yeo is a former head coach who can take all the heat, right? Like,
yeah,
I totally
absolutely.
understand that.
I will say, you know what? So the Nashville game, to me, the goals come from like last second breakdowns, because I watched a very aggressive penalty kill. I know everyone's kind of been retorting to me when I say this and saying, well, you know, they kind of pretty much allowed that goal at the end of that 4-minute kill in the third period. So it didn't really, that definitely was a power play goal, but it's like on that 4-minute kill, they were super aggressive in their own end. They were boxing out really, really well. Tim was giving great efforts to buy some time and run out the clock. And I thought it was great. They had a great 4-on-3 kill the period prior. And I thought, honestly, their penalty kill looked really, really good until it didn't at the last split second. And the first half of the season, it was all about formation. It was all about lack of aggression. It was all about not pressing the points and collapsing in the middle when the half walls kind of like brought the puck down low, everyone would collapse into the center and they'd be allowed to walk out. So to me, they totally fixed those things actually in the past few weeks. I think they've been a lot more aggressive. I think they've had much better active sticks. They're running the clock out a lot more when they have the puck. I think it's been great. The goals have come from just that, like, a brain fart at the last second, and a guy creeps in, and you know, Zub, Sanderson, Cleven, whoever it is around the crease area just loses track of him. So it's unfortunate actually the way it happened, because I actually thought the penalty kill was coming along here, but something needed to be done, and it looked pretty good last night. You know, not a lot of opportunities, but Artem Zub saved a goal, boxing out Mark Stone in the crease. They had a couple of really good clearing efforts. Shane Pinto had the best effort of the night, you know, winning a puck battle along the wall and diving to get it out. I think it looks pretty good right now. They just need a few saves, and the coverage just has to be a little bit better down low.
I agree. So Mike Yeo might win Coach of the Year.
The first assistant coach to win Coach of the
Year. Congrats, by the way, to Jacques Martin. I know we're way late into getting to this, as he's added to the Sens Wall of Fame, the Ring of Honor, I should say. Good for him. I think he should have been the first guy in, but I know he was still coaching and whatnot. But yeah, he would have been the first guy.
Do you think if he traded Gary Roberts to Ottawa in 2007 when he was general manager of the Florida Panthers, that this would have happened a couple years earlier?
Maybe. But yeah.
It'd be a banner. It wouldn't be a Ring of Honor. It'd be a banner up in the rafters.
Stanley Cup champions.
Were you guys surprised? Were you guys surprised during his speech? I thought his speech was really strongly worded and gave a lot of credit to a lot of people. It was. I really liked his speech, but like he gave a ring endorsement to this coaching staff and this group of players there. And were you guys surprised by that?
No. And so the only reason I say that, and we hear it all the time, I know Steve Stais has mentioned it, and Travis Green, and even Jacques, like they talk about how good a staff this is. I know people might think it's lip service. I really think they thoroughly enjoy each and every one. I don't know if they can coach because I've never been in the National Hockey League. All I know is as a group, they really, really enjoy working with one another.
I didn't think the shutout was like I think you'd expect that from a guy like Jacques. I thought it was a little odd. Like it typically doesn't happen in ceremonies like that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I've talked about it a lot recently. I think Travis Green's doing a great job. I think that if he gets fired, he is the epitome of a sacrificial lamb. It makes no sense to fire him right now unless you're trying to jolt your team into something and
They're not firing
a short-term success. Absolutely not. I think the coaching staff outside of the PK has been really, really strong this year. I think you also have to give Green credit for how well-rounded Sanderson and Stützle's games have been this season. Like he's getting a lot out of individual performances this year. And I think for the most part, like everyone's game seems slightly more complete and building on last season. I think there were some slow starts, like, Tyler Cleven didn't look good for some stretches, but I think he's been really, really good as of late. Jordan Spence took a little bit of time to kind of get comfortable in this system, but he's been one of their better depth defenders the past few months here. So I don't know. I kind of, when he kind of threw up his hands at the end of that Montreal game and said, like, I don't really know what more we could do, I kind of agree with him.
That's I find that that's like the most frustrating part of the season is like I think you can look up and down Ottawa's lineup, and you mentioned like Cleven, like with the exception of Cleven, for me, like I don't look at Ottawa's skaters and say, oh, that guy's just having a bad year. Like he's taking a step back. Like aside from Tyler's struggle at times, that's just not there. Seems like there's been growth with almost every player on the roster.
And Cleven's had, I think, just 2 bad games in the last month. Like, I think he's, we talked about last night. They had a couple of defensive breakdowns, in my opinion, at the start of the first period. And then him and Spence locked in. And they had a really, really good final 50 minutes of the game. And I think when it started looking rough early on in games for Cleven earlier in the season, it kind of would snowball and it would just be a really, really tough, 16 or 17 minutes of ice time. But he's turned around a couple of games recently, and he was great in one-on-one battles last night. Like, if he's throwing the body around, I think that's when he's at his best, and his puck handling is looking a lot better. Again, not a great start to the season, and he's had some really, really bad games this year. But honestly, I think he's really, really, like, not to say bandaged his season, but he's kept it together, and I think really, really fixed some obvious problems in his games.
Just need a save. Need average goaltending, as Graham would always say.
Yep.
Or slightly below 880, and they're in the playoffs right now. Seriously.
I know, which is like we laugh, but it's actually true, which is sad.
It's statistically true. Graham, check.
Before we go, Cal, quick question. Do you have any hidden talents?
No, I think I'm pretty outspoken about the 1 or 2 things I can do pretty well. I'm a decent golfer, and I can cook pretty well, and that's about it.
Okay, so if you invited Graham over, because I don't know if you'd invite me, if you invited us over, what would you make us?
Well, I'd first ask you what you like.
No. You just put it down. Go, here you go.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'm doing risotto for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably shrimp risotto. Recently, oh man, I've got a really, really good red Thai or green Thai curry recipe that we've been crushing as of late. Yeah, we got to cut back because I've done this a few too many times with some recipes where I'll just eat it 5 times in a month and then it'll taste awful to me and I've ruined it entirely.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hear you.
And I will. Oh, you know what? I actually should have brought this up. I cook a very, very good steak, and I cannot believe your stance on that, Wally. It's disgusting. Like what? That thing better be AAA Alberta beef filet mignon. Like if you're cooking it, so
I only do filet. I will first say.
Okay,
Now
well,
my kids will only eat filet, which is a problem because it's expensive. However, I can get close to medium.
What's the problem? Can you explain it to me? What's the problem with it being a little red?
Because probably because my mom doesn't listen to the show. I think she overcooked everything when I was a kid, and that's just the way I like it.
You see, I had the complete opposite experience. Like I got it all overcooked, and I was like, "This is awful." I need mine to still be squealing a little bit. Like I really like it to be like pretty close to blue.
No, there's no need for that. No, I'm not out in a caveman. I'm not just trying to use flint to start my fire. I want it cooked.
Do you have one of the best like serrated knives to cut through that thing? Like, what are you using?
Bread knife.
No. Yeah. Pricking out a butcher's knife to cut his steak.
I have some great Japanese knives, actually. So it cuts easy. I don't know what the problem is.
He's like doing this at the dinner table with like sharpening it right before.
Just basic. Yeah, someone said a chainsaw. But yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's kind of like that. I'd love to have, which I've never tried, is Kobe beef. That I'd love.
Kobe beef is just like they're hung cows. Is that it?
Aged forever or whatever. Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Graham?
Aren't they like hung up? Like they're just like they never.
Okay.
They're suspended in the air. Like they never move, never build up like too much muscle. No, am I wrong on that?
No, that sounds good.
I'm just reading the comments. Someone says powered knife. I don't like my steak still mooing. So yes, there is one thing that will galvanize everybody to have an opinion. That is, how do you cook your steak? 100%.
Can we agree? No sauce.
Oh, chimichurri on some steaks can be good.
I don't like the peppercorn sauce. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Whatever they serve it, like the keg or whatever, I just like, yeah, it just goes over here. Whatever that's, is it just a peppercorn sauce? Yeah, I don't want to. I don't really. You know what? Barbecue? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Ketchup on your steak, guy, Wally.
I like it. No, but like there's a steak seasoning. I don't do ketchup. No, I don't do ketchup. Like a peppercorn sauce, I think. No. Just a dry rub. No?
I'm a salt and pepper guy. It's easy.
Salt and pepper, olive oil in the pan, throw a little butter, garlic, and thyme in, and baste a little bit, and then you're done.
Yeah, I like it on the barbecue.
Yeah. No, I think you can cook a good steak on the barbecue if you just do it for like 3 minutes.
High heat, 20 minutes.
Oh man, he's got like what's flames? That? The rotisserie flame at the back is on as well.
Yeah, I have like a hazmat suit. It's so hot. Yeah,
blowtorch. Open the thing up. Blowtorch.
Yeah, that's. And finally, we don't ask usually people in the media because we all just eat snacks. But do you have a favorite snack? We call it a cheat snack to a player, but to the media, it's just a snack. Do you have a snack that you like if you're watching a movie that you need to eat?
I'll give you two. Well, if I'm at home, it's Rosebuds chocolate.
Oh wow!
Hey, yeah, it's just.
I didn't think they were still available.
Oh yeah, Bulk Barn. Yeah.
Oh,
and then, but if I'm on the road, cookie dough blizzard. Oh.
Why can't you get it at home?
A cookie dough blizzard?
Isn't that a Dairy Queen?
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm in my car, like if I'm going somewhere.
I see.
Yeah,
I'm on the road. Like, I can only get it if I'm in Vancouver. I'm like, yeah, I think there's Dairy Queens here.
No, I'm just not the kind of guy that's gonna DoorDash a medium blizzard. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I've never used a food delivery service.
Oh yeah,
I have. You've never lived.
I'm afraid it shows up. It's just dry. It's old and soggy or cold and dry. Like,
but you can monitor like when the food's ready. Like we've done Uber Eats a couple times at the fire hall, just because we're super busy or whatever and don't want to leave the station. And you can see when the food's prepared. You can see when it's picked up, and they give you an ETA and deliver. And it's
but that doesn't change how long it sits there.
No, well, I mean, you have a good idea of when it was made, so you know if it's like been sitting for a long time.
When Lisa gets it and brings it home, it's still getting cold. And I don't tip.
Lisa, you don't give Lisa an extra $5 when she brings it home?
No. Should have got here quicker.
I'm going to bring that up with her next game.
She's in the air right now, so she can't watch this show. So yeah, we'll just keep this between us. Also, her snowblower is broken, and I had to shovel all day today.
Her snowblower? Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
I think she should maintain it better.
I broke a shovel this morning.
Oh yeah? No, I won't start, Graham. I don't know. But she's gonna get a word from me.
Is it like sputtering? Like what's it?
No, it just won't turn over. It's like it's not we don't need to have a discussion about small engine repair at the moment, but yeah, it won't turn over.
Are you priming it?
No. I've had it for 12 years. I know how to start the snowblower.
All right, but you said it's Lisa's snowblower, so I don't know how often you're touching this thing.
Well, more than I should be, since it's hers. We're done here. Before I get in trouble, Cal, thanks for hopping on. 2 more shows, by the way. You do get a free mug. Speaking of which,
there you go.
Mugs are all sold out at the moment online. There is an order in for more, so I will keep you posted when they arrive. But if you're looking for anything else,
are you strategically doing sold out stocks so you don't have to drive around the city as often? Is that all part of it?
No.
You want a reprieve?
No, I just got an email today from our good friends at Barrhaven Source for Sports, where you can buy them, and they just said, just letting you know, we're officially sold out of mugs. So I'll pause them on the site until you source more. So there's some on order. Just got to get them in. And of course, CIHSens.shop, CIHSens.shop, t-shirts galore. Don't forget, there will be more. We're adding more. We have a couple new designs coming in. And of course, get all your latest hoodies and t-shirts and whatever. But for Cal, for you, soon, if you stay around long enough, you can get your very own mug.
Brent, can I leave with a little comment here?
Oh no!
You
gotta go.
Do you know you're the only person in my life that calls me Cal outside of my mom?
Oh, is that good or bad?
It's just weird. I've just never gone by Cal before. I guess I will have to now. I'm assuming there's 400,000 people watching this thing.
That's a low number, but yeah, probably. Wait a sec. So do you not like Cal?
No, you know what?
Do you have a nickname?
Dude, okay. Well, So I was like the only guy on my hockey team. And this is maybe like, people are going to call me a locker room cancer, but for 15 years, I was the only guy without a nickname. Callum is just not like, Callie just sounds like It's not good. Caller is like, and so, yeah, it's just nothing ever clicked. And then, later in life, you get a couple that you probably shouldn't say on a live TV show. Yep. But no, I've never had like my last name's not good for one either. So so it just seems natural that Cal would just be. Sure, I think that's okay.
I think Lisa calls you Cal.
Not to me,
because she sits next to you, and then she's like, "Yeah, Cal and I talked." Maybe she does say Cal. I'm not sure. Okay, well, I can call you Cal.
Lots of stuff to talk to Lisa about after this episode.
Nobody call it. By the way, someone said in the chat, Cal's a good mechanic's name. Well, that's where I get it from, because Lisa's cousin name was Cal, who ran a garage repair, auto repair.
Cal
Clutterbuck. So, but there is defenseman Ryan Callahan. His nickname is Callie.
Yeah, but last name it works better for if it's last
100%.
name.
100%. Yeah.
I had a
Frazzy.
The only person that's ever called me Callie was a high school girlfriend.
See, I should have just ended the show 10 minutes ago. It'd be no Lisa chat.
I didn't let you.
I'm just going to get the couch ready now, even before she gets home. All right, Cal. Appreciate you. All right, Callum. Appreciate you stopping. But you know what that's like? Is Graham will say Brent, and it's the most awkward thing. So I know he's just, you're just trying to irritate me. when you go
It works.
Brent.
It works, though.
Yeah, no one calls me Brent.
It's all strategic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't call me Cal, by the way. I'm just saying it's like
yeah,
my mom's the only one that's ever called me Cal.
that seems weird.
We're going to grow that number.
Yeah, everybody's going to call you
by
Cal
one.
from now on.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, jeez.
And just one L, by the way, not two. Cal is just with one L. Yeah. All right. See you next time. I'll see everybody at the rink tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you.
See you, boys.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.